Hello yogis, thank you for joining me today on the mat. Very lovely to have you here and now. So just take a comfortable seat, cross-legged, easy pose. If you feel that today you can't really sit comfortably cross-legged, maybe you stop the film and just go and get a towel and put it underneath your buttocks so that you're tilting a little bit forwards, and that might make it easier for you to start the session in cross-legged. But when you're ready, just close your eyes, keep your hands comfortably on your knees wherever they land, either arms on the knees or hands on the knees, and just relax. And today we're going to have our intention to follow our breath. So everything we do, we'll try to do it with our breath. But let's start with just observing our own breath. Where is it? Just breathe very, very calmly, and just check where your breath is coming in. Take a few more breaths, just so that you notice what you're doing. We're not putting any effort into it, we're just breathing and becoming aware of our breath. And now, wherever your breath is, if it's up in the upper chest, just try with your muscle power to activate that breath. So just engage yourself and push the breath out on the exhalation. And inhaling, so all of a sudden, with a bit of practice, we start feeling that we can actually control the breath. Take a couple of more of those. And just think here and now. As I said, this is the only moment that we know that we have, for sure. And now, keeping your eyes closed if you're comfortable with it, and maybe deepen your breath. So if by now you haven't started going deeper from your upper chest, go a little bit further down. Start breathing with your lower rib cage. You can put your hands on your ribs maybe, and just feel them moving. In through your nose and out through your nose or your mouth. We can make a sound when we're breathing out. You might not hear mine. That's what's called ocean breath, when you start hearing the breath on exhalation. And now on the next inhalation, try to incorporate the back of your lungs. So breathing in through that whole big back area where the biggest part of your lung is sitting. You might feel your hands are moving in and out, and maybe your back is curving a little bit outwards as well when on your inhalation. And with the next few breaths, try to get your breath all the way down to your lower diaphragm. So maybe put your hands on your tummy, and just controlling the push out of your tummy when you're inhaling, and bringing it in on the exhalation. And all of a sudden, you might start feeling the sensation of the breath coming in and leaving your body. You might even feel a different temperature in the air coming in through your nostrils and when it's going out. Beautiful. And now just place your hands comfortably on your knees somewhere and take a couple more breaths and just be aware of them and control them. You might even start lifting or engaging your pelvic floor muscles on the exhalation. Beautiful. Lovely. Hands to heart center. And just keep your mind on that breath all the time. See if we can do it all through this session. So now taking our arms up towards the ceiling and with a gentle bow forwards, coming down with your hands down onto the floor when you can't bend further in your back, and then just let your head fall down to the floor. Take a deep breath in and again check where that breath is going. But start feeling all the different directions where the breath is going depending on what pose you are. And lifting your arms up towards the sky, hands together, and taking them down, hands to heart center. Beautiful. And from here, excuse me, take your thumbs to your third eye, which is just between your eyebrows or just above. That's called the third eye. And if you can in this pose, push your elbows together so that you have a long line from elbows to thumbs, all supporting your forehead, if you like. And from here, take your arms out to the side and exhaling back in again. Inhaling and exhaling. And bring your arms down. Just rotate your shoulders, loosen up, and the other way. And from here, take your hands to your, interlace your fingers behind your head and lean your head against your fingers. Elbows are way out, as much out to the sides as possible. Take a grab hold of the floor with your feet so that you get a good base there, excuse me. And then just bending towards the right, aiming the elbow down towards the mat. But take it really easily to start off with, just small bends. Inhaling, coming up, and exhaling. And where is that breath going out from? And inhaling, exhaling down to the right. Inhaling, coming up, and exhaling to the left. And back to center. Beautiful. Lovely. And from here, take your arms just to heart center, and we'll just do one more bow. But this time, bowing forwards. This time, try to push with your back muscles. Try to push yourself down onto the floor as far as you can go. And only when you're as far as you can go, drop your head down to the floor. And you might want to take your forehead as close to your long fingers as possible. Take another breath here, and on the exhale, push with that back further down towards the floor. long inhale, coming up to center, and relax. Beautiful. And from here, just take yourself into kneeling position. Hands on the floor, underneath your shoulders. And we'll do cat-cow, the familiar cat-cow, which is such a good thing to do for the spine. So let's loosen up the spine after that. Sitting cross-legged. Inhaling and exhale, curve your back upwards into cat and push it away from the floor with your arms. And at your own speed, inhaling, looking up to the sky, and exhaling, gazing at your belly button. Inhaling, keep pushing your arms so that shoulders are as high as possible off the mat. And exhaling down into a beautiful cat. Lovely. And from here, take yourself down into pose of a child and just stretch out that back. And again, whilst relaxing in pose of a child, become aware of where your breath is. And as always, keep moving as if you love your body all the way through and are just interested in how your breath is going and how it's taking you into all these poses. Beautiful. Slowly pulling yourself up, pulling your hands a little bit back again so that your wrists are underneath your shoulders. And spread your fingers really, really wide. Grab hold of the mat with all your fingertips and your hand, the palm of your hand, so that you have a good solid base. And now, pushing your elbows inwards, just bend your elbows and coming down towards the mat. If it feels easy, just move yourself a little bit further towards the top of the mat. This is not an easy move. Keeping your core strong and just keep bending those elbows. And see how your breath is coping with this. Exhaling, going down. And inhaling, coming up. Beautiful. And from here, put your elbows down on the mat. Cross your fingers, interlace your fingers, and then pushing up from your elbows to your shoulders, so you're not leaning on your head, but drop your head in between your hands. It sways freely there. Tuck your toes in and keep that really good tripod base on your elbows and lifting yourself up into this beautiful dolphin pose. You can walk out our feet a little bit, pedal your feet slowly, but keep pushing your elbows. This is really good for the back and for the arms, to keep pushing yourself away from the mat. And how's the breath going, guys? I hope you can keep a calm, lovely, gentle breath. Was to aiming to push your heels down on the mat. Lovely. And then drop your knees down onto the mat and into beautiful pose of a child. Take a few breaths here. Just let your body settle. And just enjoy this moment and the sensation you can feel in your body. And when you're ready, put the palms of your hands on the mat, tucking your toes in and coming up into for downward facing dog. And again, if you feel the need to pedal your feet out, again, please do so. And keep those fingers spread out. Feet are about hip distance apart and the same distance between your hands. And fingertips grabbing hold of that mat so that you have a really good base here. Beautiful. And from here, take your right foot up towards the ceiling into three-legged dog and just rotate your right foot 3 times one way and 3 times the other to give those ankles a good oiling there. And then drop your right foot down onto the mat. And we'll do the same on the left, taking the left leg up towards the sky and rotating the ankle 3 times one way and 3 times the other. And drop it down onto the mat. And from here, gently walk your feet in between your hands and just hang there in forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to in order to keep your hands on the floor, getting a nice support there. And from here, put your hands on your shins and then slowly taking your spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae, really roll that spine up until you're upright. The head comes up last. And taking your arms up to the sky. And down. Beautiful. Really, really nice. Shake yourself around a little bit. Just have to tuck myself in a little bit. And rotate your shoulders. Take a few wobbly steps. Do anything you need to do in order to loosen that body up. Beautiful. And from here, feet a little bit apart and taking your arms straight up to the ceiling and stretch up, reaching the sky in a beautiful mountain pose. Now up here, I'll have to bring my arms down so you can see me. Move your fingertips up whilst you're stretching up there. Just move your fingertips a little bit. Pretend you're a flower and your petals are moving. And you can maybe move the wrists a little bit as well whilst you're up there to loosen up the hands. Unfortunately, you can't see my hands, but that's what I'm doing as well now. Lovely. And arms down, hands to heart center, and relax. Beautiful. And now stretching up again, all the way up to the sky. And check where your breath is. We haven't done that for a few minutes now. See where the breath is going in and out. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. And from here, taking arms out to the side and forward fold. Down as far as it's possible for you. So, if you come to this pose, put your hands on your thighs, upper thighs, or down on your shins, down to your ankles, or down onto the floor. If you want to go to the floor, you can also bend your knees. It doesn't really matter. Just relax there for a bit. And now, whichever pose you're in, straighten your legs and put your hands somewhere where it's convenient on your legs. And then lifting your back up into a halfway lift. So now, have a really, really straight back so that you look like a bracket holding a shelf up. That's the pose we're looking for here. And then move your weight slightly onto your toes so that you get even more bracket shaped. And then relax down towards the mat. And now Now taking arms to the side, all the way up, stretching up. And we're doing a small backward bend, so if you can do a bit of a backward bend in this pose with arms up over your head, that's fine. If you need a little bit of support, your back is not feeling great today, put your hands on your hips and just support yourself in a lovely backward bend. And let that front of the neck stretch, trying to get the nose and chin towards the sky. And if you can bear it for another couple of breaths here, please do so. Just again checking in with your breath. You might feel it coming into the top part of your rib cage. And up when you're ready. Beautiful. Great. And from here, we'll shake your body around anytime you need a break. Please take it. So we can go into pose of a child, this one, just to have a break. Or if this feels like a break for you, like a relaxed pose, downward facing dog, that's also a really good one. But whatever you do, don't go past your own edge of your comfort zone. Please, please, please. It's impossible for me to see if you're struggling or if you're absolutely happy with everything we're doing. So please check in with yourself at all times. Thank you. Lovely. From here, take your feet a little bit further than hip distance apart. Take your hands to your hips. Mine is now as wide as the mat, so I'm starting from here. And then with a straight back, head up, folding yourself down towards the floor and grabbing hold of the floor if you can, or ankles or shins. Now taking your arms up towards the ceiling and then a small backward bend again. Arms down to heart center and we're folding over again all the way down to the floor. Now at this point, if you can, take your feet wider, just hold on to the floor so that you don't fall over, and take your feet as wide as you possibly can and just hang there in a lovely pyramid shape. You might be able to put your elbows on the floor, hands on the floor, but wherever your arms and hands are, just place them with awareness so that you're considering the shape you're making. And keep breathing. Beautiful. Hands back on the floor. Take your feet in and all the way up. And from here, put your hands on your hips and then a small backward bend. So we always want to counterpose all the stretches we're doing to keep the body nice and happy and flexible in all directions. So from here, taking your right foot as far back as you possibly can, keeping your heel and toe on the right at 45-degree angles to the mat. Hands at heart center we're starting off with. And then taking your arms towards the ceiling, bending that left knee. And wherever you're at, so if your stance is quite narrow, a lot narrower than mine, then just go down, but please make sure that your back is as parallel to the walls as possible. This is a very, very strong, good move. If you can, take your feet wider you will have a different pose. But again, this is what we're striving for, Warrior One. But if you're not there yet, that is a very good move to be in, as long as your back is straight. So keep breathing here. Taking another breath. Keep your arms by your ears or as close as possible. Beautiful. And then coming up, hands to heart center and feet together. We'll do the other side. So taking your left leg back, again, as far as you can, hopefully more or less equal distance from what you did with the right leg just then. And from here, bending that front knee. Keep pushing the front knee to the right so that it's not covering your big toes. Big toe even on the right there. Lovely. And when you're ready, just lift your arms up into a really strong, where the body is in full tension in Warrior One. One more breath and maybe go a little bit further down on that. Great, you're doing well. And straighten up your knee, hands to heart center and feet together. Now again, take your right foot back. And we'll do that again, and we'll add an extra challenge if you feel up for it. So arms up to the ceiling, and then bending that left knee, pushing it so that it's not covering your left big toe. And from here, taking your arms down and bending forwards, dropping your head down into Humble Warrior. Keep your right leg engaged, pushing that back, the outside of the right foot into the mat, and holding onto the mat with your toes, really clenching so that everything is engaged. And in order to hold your balance, it does help to engage the pelvic floor muscles. And slowly roll up your head, coming up all the way up to the top, arms to the sky, and then hands to heart center, straightening your left leg and feet together. Good. That's quite a good strong move, so you're doing really, really great. And we'll do the other side, so taking our left leg back on the mat, and again 45 degrees on the mat with the back foot there. And just even your the base out so that you're standing properly on the four corners of each foot. And from here, bend the right knee. If you feel that you can go widen your stance a bit, you can move your toes forwards, slightly creeping them forwards. But remember, keep your back really, really nice and straight. And when you're ready, taking your arms up towards the ceiling. And take a few breaths here and see how you're doing. Are you being kind and gentle to your body? Are you smiling? And then bringing your hands down to heart center and folding yourself forwards with your hands at heart center into a lovely humble warrior. Again, there might be some shakes in the legs here, but that's a good thing. All the little tiny muscles are engaged and all the connective tissue is being challenged a little bit. And on the next inhalation, bring yourself up. And on the next inhalation, Lifting your arms to the sky. Great. And then hands to heart center. And feet together. Beautiful. Lovely. Strong moves here. So keep going. You're doing great, and you can do this. So up to the top of your mat again, and we'll take the right foot back. But now we're going into Warrior Two. So the right foot is parallel to the short end of the mat at the back. And what we're trying to do is turn the hips forwards so that the hips are parallel to the long side of the mat. Great. And from here, taking your arms out to the side and really stretch and keep your body really, really nice and straight, lifting that pelvic floor up to give you support and balance. And then turning your head, overlooking your left fingertips with the arms wide, and then slowly bending that left knee. Again, if you need to move your foot forwards in order to get a better standing position, please do so, but keep your body really, really nice and straight. Lovely. And take another breath here. And on the exhale, maybe go down a little bit further. We're aiming to have the left leg in 90-degree angle, so shin in 90-degree angle to the thigh. And slowly straightening that knee, hands together and feet together. And we'll do the other side. So taking our left leg back, and turning the foot so that it's parallel to the short end of the mat. Beautiful. Taking our arms wide, tucking the pelvis forward a little bit so that you're not sticking out too much at the back, and engaging the pelvic floor, the mula bandhas, and overlooking your right fingertips. Start bending the right knee and aiming to come into a 90-degree angle so that the knee is above the ankle here. Scapulas, shoulder blades very nicely tied together, overlooking your right fingertips. And on each exhalation, maybe try to go a little bit further down. I know it's hard, but we can do it. And keep checking in on your breath here. And slowly straightening that leg up. Hands to heart center and feet together. Beautiful. I'm going to carry on with this. So if it's too much for you, take a break. Go down into pose of child or maybe downward facing dog as mentioned already. But we'll take another go at Warrior Two. So foot parallel to the short end of the mat at the back. Hips parallel to the mat. Lovely. And then hands, we're taking the right hand on the leg, on the right leg. So that's a sliding motion. Left hand up towards the ceiling. And from here, bending the knee, left knee. And then creating a small arch with the left hand. And trying to look at our fingertips on the left into a lovely humble warrior. And here, if you can, become aware of your breath. And where is it going? You might notice that it's going into your left hand side of the chest, making that side of your body move. And slowly straightening up the left leg. Hands to heart center. and feet together. Brilliant. And we'll do the other side. So taking left foot back, again foot parallel to the short side of the mat, hips forwards. We'll take the left arm down on the leg, on the left leg, right arm up towards the sky, and then bending that right knee. Again, keep pushing the right knee a little bit to the right so that it's not covering the big toe should you want to look at it. But in this case, try to keep your gaze on your fingertips, sliding down the left hand on your left leg. And we're in a beautiful, peaceful warrior. Take another breath here if you can. And up you come, arms raising parallel to the floor, hands together and feet together. Very nice too, brilliant. Now just move about a little bit, shake your body around, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable. And then we're stretching up to the ceiling, interlacing our fingers and turning them inside out. And a nice forward fold to stretch out that back. Beautiful. If you want to keep a wide stance between your feet, that's absolutely fine. Just let your body relax here. And then put your hands on your shins, coming into halfway up, that bracket pose, and let your back do some straightening out work. And then exhaling, folding down over your legs. Arms out to the side, straight back, head up, and all the way up to the top. And hands to heart center. Great. And I'd like to finish with Warrior 3. So Warrior 3 is a balancing move. Arms up to the ceiling, and then from here, put your weight on your right foot. Take your left leg back a little bit, but don't lean too much on the toes there at the back, but just start getting your right foot engaged on the mat, and take your brain down to the mat. Your mind is down on the foot, on the mat. And then lifting the left leg up as parallel to the floor as you can possibly get it, so that fingertips, shoulders, hips, knee, heel, everything is in a straight line, or as straight as possible. And take another breath here. Keep looking at the spot on the floor, and slowly coming up, hands to heart center, and well done. Beautiful. We'll do the other side. So standing with hands at heart center, grabbing hold of the mat with your left foot, putting your weight on your left foot, taking your right foot back, stretching arms to the sky, and when you're ready, start hinging from the hips, everything in a straight line, and folding over as much as is possible for you today. Keep breathing, check how it's going, and slowly coming up, feet together and hands to heart center. Very nice too. Great. And from here, let's go into chair pose to just elongate the back a little bit. So feet about, hip distance apart really. arms up towards the ceiling and sitting down. Just protrude your bottom so that it's coming out a little bit, and try to sit down further down and try to get your shins as parallel to the walls as is only possible. It gets harder, it's more challenging, but see if you can do it. And keep breathing. How is that breath going? And then if you can lift your body so that it's more parallel with the walls, that's absolutely fantastic. And up, and hands together, and relax. Shall we do that again? So feet about hip distance apart, or maybe a little bit closer. Arms towards the ceiling and sit down on your haunches into chair pose. And if you want to challenge yourself more, take this into a balance by engaging your left foot more, grabbing hold of the mat there, and lifting your right foot, calf, up to your left knee into flying pigeon. Keeping your hands, arms by your ears, and keep breathing, keep smiling, and hands to heart center and feet together. Brilliant. And we'll do the other side. So, feet a little bit, small distance apart, sitting down into chair pose, arms are up towards the sky. And when you're ready, grab hold of the mat with your right foot now, and lifting your left leg up into another beautiful flying pigeon. Keep breathing. Keep smiling, and just be aware of here and now. Straighten your leg, hands to heart center, and feet together. Beautiful. Really, really nice. And from here, lift your arms to the ceiling, to the sky, down onto the floor. And then slowly walk your feet back into a great downward facing dog. Now bend your knees and put your knees down onto the floor and go into a beautiful pose of a child, taking your hands alongside your calves and really just relax here. Letting your breath settle. And take your awareness again into your body. See how it's feeling. All that recharging of everything inside the body. Beautiful. Let your shoulders just fold around your knees and down towards the mat. Lovely. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming up and sitting straight, sitting on your knees if that's possible for you. Otherwise, in a cross-legged position, if you prefer, or even with straight legs, whatever is most comfortable. And we loosen up the shoulders a little bit, go into a cow position or half cow. So lift your right arm up to this, up and over, and bend it so that your hand is touching your back at the back. And take your left arm and trying to get the fingertips to meet. It's not always possible, but see if you can manage. And when you're ready, just fold down to the floor, keeping your core strong. And coming down as far as you can towards the floor. And up you come slowly and gently, and release. And we'll take the other hand. You might find you don't get the same grip. I have to manipulate a little bit. Still won't touch at the back. But do the best you can without hurting anything, but just giving that flexibility to your shoulders and folding forwards. And inhaling, coming up and release. And then shrug your shoulders and roll them around. And from here, stretch your legs out in front of you and bring your right foot out towards your right thigh. Your foot might be just by the calf or by the knee, ideally not exactly on the knee, or up by your thigh. And then just rock gently your knee back and forth down towards the floor. Just oiling the hip a little bit. And taking arms up to the ceiling and stretching down towards the left foot. And when you're as far down as you can, maybe just gently bend your elbows. Maybe your elbows come quite close to the floor. Take a deep breath in into the spot where your back is requiring some oxygen. And inhaling, coming up, hands together, and release that leg. And we take the left leg up to the same place you had on the right, so that we're working in reasonable symmetry here. And then just gently rock your knee up and down towards the floor, just easing out the hips here. Sometimes the hips are very, very tight, and when we're allowing space for the hips, all the inner organs here are loosened up and firing up in the way they should be. So this is a really good pose. And when you're ready, arms to the ceiling and folding forwards along your right leg. And with every exhalation, trying to get a little bit deeper into the pose. Doesn't matter if it's a millimetre or a centimetre or even more. Whatever you can do, it's nice to ease into each pose with the exhalations. And then inhaling, coming up to the top, hands together and legs together. Fantastic. Now take your legs wide, and we go into a twisted way, so turning your right shoulder and right elbow towards your right knee and foot, and bending over. Keeping your feet flexed to create energy and tension in both your legs here. And on your next inhalation, coming back up, and then turning left shoulder and left side of the rib cage and left elbow towards the left knee and foot. And keeping tension in those feet if you can. And on the inhalation, coming back up, and then just slowly folding forwards. And take your hands to your feet, if you like, to give yourself a little bit more support. Or put your hands on the floor in front of you. And arms up to the sky, hands together. and legs together. Brilliant. And from here, grab hold of your knees really close to your body. Really, really hug your knees close in. And from here, you might want to hold on to your upper thighs or hamstrings, and then lift your feet up so that they are parallel to the floor. And then let go of your arms in preparation for boat. If you want to take your legs further, stretching them further out, even, completely straight, that's fine. And then bring them in, give your knees a hug, straighten your back, let your shoulders fall down, shoulder blades together at the back and down. And we'll do that one more time. So having calves parallel to the floor, arms parallel with your lower legs, and then straightening out as much as possible. Don't let yourself have any twinges in your back. If your core muscles aren't strong enough to do this, just keep your legs bent, and then take them knees back into your core and hug them tightly. Beautiful. And from here, take the soles of your feet together into a nice butterfly pose, and a last little shaking of the knees down towards the floor as a butterfly flies. Maybe I should turn this way so you can see me. Just pushing them down, sitting with a straight back, head up. And this is a butterfly pose. And one day, eventually, maybe knees would come down to the mat. It might not happen in my lifetime for me, but it might happen to you. Beautiful. And now cross your feet, hold on to your big toes, and just slowly roll down onto your back. And grab hold of your knees and rock your back gently towards the mat, into the mat. Fantastic. And from here, put your heels on the ground, about hip distance apart. And relax in this pose. Let your shoulder blades settle into the ground. Maybe you want to take them a little bit closer, sort of pushing them down towards the small of your back. And then engage all the four corners of your feet onto the mat. And start pushing your feet down to the mat. And slowly, very slowly, bring the small of your back, almost peeling your back away from the floor. Keep pushing your abdomen towards the ceiling, engaging also your glutes, and keeping your knees about hip distance apart, as if you have a beach ball that you need to hold on to there. So keep yourself really nice and strong. And maybe push a little bit higher up into a beautiful bridge. Maybe interlace your hands underneath your body. And keep pushing up, really, really strong tension in the knees, in the legs, in the glutes. And the back is working here as well. And then release your hands if they're underneath you. And slowly from the neck down, push from your stomach and from your upper muscles, your spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae, down onto the mat until the small of your back is on the mat. Beautiful. And now just straighten your legs straight up towards the sky into a gorgeous waterfall. Grab hold of your legs wherever is accessible to you, hamstrings, shins, or even maybe big toe, and take your legs wide apart and just relax here. If you're holding onto your foot, try to keep hold of your big toe so that you're stretching the nerve ends in the big toe. It's a nice gentle massage for your toes. And just give yourself a chance to feel how your inner thighs are relaxing and being stretched there. Maybe you can pull your legs a little bit wider by gently, gently rocking them backwards and forwards. And from here, flex your feet, grab hold of your legs wherever, but not your feet. And then rotate your feet 3 times one way and 3 times the other. Beautiful. Bring your legs together and then put your hands, palms down, fingers spread out wide. Put your hands under your buttocks, thumbs touching, and then either with bent knees or with straight knees, depending on how strong your core is. Take your legs down to the ground, but do it really, really gently. And if you have straight legs, or even if you have bent legs, and all of a sudden you feel a little twinge in your back, just bend your knees. We don't want your back to be overworked. And take it really, really slowly. And keep breathing during this descent of your legs down onto the mat. Fantastic. Keeping your hands where they are, coming up onto your elbows and looking at your toes, and then turning your heart up towards the ceiling and bending your neck so that you get your crown of the head down onto the mat, stretching the neck muscles in a beautiful pose of a fish. Take one more breath here. And then bring your head up, looking at your toes again. And then from the small of your back, vertebrae by vertebrae, release your back down onto the floor. Excuse me. And now just relax in a beautiful Shavasana. If you need to move in any way, you want to do a twist of your body, if that would feel right for you, please do so. Or hug your knees tightly to your chest, or whatever feels right for you this moment before you're starting a lovely, relaxing Shavasana. Do that. And when you're ready for Shavasanas, take your feet mat distance apart, arms away from your sides, palms uppermost. Close your eyes, and then maybe adjust your shoulders so that your shoulder blades go a little bit further down and maybe a little bit more together. And the last thing, pull your chin down towards your chest to elongate the neck. And then just relax and let your body melt into the mat, into the floor. And just feel that lovely floor supporting you. And bring your awareness to your body. Feel that energy that has been created. Feel the power of your body. And start breathing more slowly, more deeply. Letting your body relax in complete surrender. Close your eyes. And maybe just have a little bit of facial gymnastics here, smiling, taking your mouth from side to side, maybe widening your nostrils, maybe lifting your eyebrows, and then just surrender to a lovely Shavasana. Thoughts might come and go. Notice them, but don't pay any attention to them. Let them just go, let them float away. This is your moment, the only moment you have. Keep breathing. And relax. If you want to have a few more moments in a lovely Shavasana, please feel free to do so. For the ones who are ready to let their body back into the room, just move your fingers and your toes. And then gently come up into a seated position. Sitting in the most comfortable way you can on the floor. Or carry on with your Shavasana. Bringing your hands to heart center. Take a bow, touching your fingertips to your third eye. Folding forwards. Thanking for your strength. Thanking yourself for your strength. Thanking yourself for your breath. And thanking yourself for the moment you have taken to just be here and now. Slowly coming up, hands to heart center, and if you're ready, with a big smile on your face, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on the mat. It's been a privilege